Now, yesterday, NEO stock or the NEO stock closed trading around $13.44, which meant that it had dropped by 0.88%, which then brought, I suppose, to some retail investors more panic. But the good thing is that pre-market today, we are seeing this stock showing some good recoveries. As you know, the screen, you notice that it is trading, or it's up 3.65%. Now, today, guys, it's a wonderful news because there are two big news that NEO just gave, or that we just read about this NEO stock. And one of the news, of course, as per the thumbnail of this video, are breaking news, or are record breaking news, which we'll get to that. And of course, for you to find out those news, you'll have to watch this video until the end. But the other news was, of course, the news in relation to one of the big financial institutions increasing their NEO stake, or their NEO positions, which of course is the Swiss National Bank. Now, before we go any further, please know that, or you already know that this video is just an entertainment video, and I would really appreciate if you can just hit that like button if you enjoy the content that I'll be giving you about this NEO stock. Now, without a waste of time, the first news, or the first latest news we just received is, of course, of the Swiss National Bank increasing their NEO holdings by 10%. This is what was disclosed, or the latest news we read yesterday, of saying that in the Q1 of 2022, the Swiss National Bank increased their NEO holdings by 10%, which is something that must just show you that when you, or probably me, are panicking, when NEO share price are dropping, these big fishes, big financial institutions are increasing their positions onto NEO. Yes, I know that right now, NEO, I think, currently has around 788 institutions. The institutions are just a bit below the 800 mark, which 1 or 2 months ago, there were over 800 institutions that own NEO. Though we are seeing this, but there are still institutions that believe that NEO, it is a stock that, of course, will take them to get some massive returns, which is why we are seeing them increasing their holdings. Now, of course, this Swiss company disclosed that around the Q1, or at the end of Q1, they own total NEO shares of around 3.6 million, and of course, with a value of around $75.6 million. Now, you remember that this Swiss bank, or as you screen, you notice that this Swiss bank, around the Q4, they had around 3.2 million NEO shares. Now, to get to see them having now around 3.6 million is something that, like I said, it is quite motivating, and making, or has to make you and me to probably do the same and load the boat onto this NEO stock, as this is a stock that is just set to do very well. So, as I've said in the beginning of this video, of course, there are other institutions that are selling this NEO stock, but there are a few of them, like, of course, the Norway bank, which, of course, we read that they just sold a big portion of their NEO holdings, which, of course, it has to be also be put out there to say that we are not only seeing institutions buying, but there are few other institutions that are selling their NEO stock position, which I believe that, of course, is their decision, but to get to see that there are other institutions that remain bullish, even increasing their position, is something that it has to be noted as well, to say that regardless of these headwinds that we are seeing it dragging the NEO stock price down, there are institutions out there and retail investors like myself and you guys who are still believing that NEO, it is that stock that can take us close to financial freedom. Now, as I said, there are around 700, or NEO currently has around 788 institutions as of the 10th of May. So there are still institutions that are still owning this NEO stock. And of course, the total shares that all these institutions own is around 670.7 million, which that just has to show you that these institutions are owning a lot of NEO shares, which again must just be the one to probably encourage you to also not panic due to the short-term headwinds and remain bullish, because I don't think these institutions will just own the NEO stock, or this NEO stock, knowing that it will be delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. I don't think these institutions, they will just own this NEO stock knowing very well that it has no future. This company is going to die. I don't think they can just waste their money like that, which is something that before you panic sell this stock, just make sure that, of course, you weigh these things up and see or check what big institutions are doing onto this NEO stock before you decide to sell this stock. Now, without a waste of time, the latest breaking news that we just received from NIO today is that on the 20th of May, which is this month, the NIO will list in Singapore. Now, you remember that this Singapore has been there, I think, a month or two. We start hearing about this Singapore, a possibility of NIO listing in Singapore a month or two ago, which getting to see that right now NIO will be listing, or will once again list secondary or do a secondary listing in Singapore is something that excites investors, because we are going to also have another set or other sets of investors that can come in and buy this new stock. Now, you might be asking yourself, why is this called record breaking news? Well, there is no EV company in the world to date who has listed in 3 stock exchanges. So this, or NIO, is the very first company to list in 3 stock exchanges, which is something that this just makes it to be the very first company to do this. And they are the first in the world to do this, which I think it has to be acknowledged and to be recognized. As, like I said, there's no any other EV company who has done this. Now, these are wonderful news, or to get to see NIO, of course, listing also in the Singapore. It's something that I think it's really commendable. As to how many shares will be offered in the Singapore exchange, we don't know yet, or I don't know. If you guys know, please do make sure that you comment or hit me at the comment box below and tell me, or show me, or at least send me a link of an article maybe that has got these kind of details, because personally I don't know how many shares will be there in Singapore, or how many shares will be trading in Singapore on the 20th of May. But all I know is that on the 20th of this month, the NIO will start also trading in Singapore, which is something that I think it is out of this world. Now, with all that, NIO is a company that by just this, it continues to do very well, and it is still expected to do very well in the future. I mean, the last time I talked about this stock here, we were talking about its sub-brand, which is expected to start with the production of its sub-brand is expected to start in 2024 at their new plant, which is something that is truly amazing. And of course, that plant will be the NIO Park Phase 2, or will be called NIO Park Phase 2, which is incredible. It just has to show you the kind of deliveries that can come or will be coming on this NIO company, or the kind of deliveries that NIO will be reporting in 2024. I mean, I'm looking very much forward to that, because I believe that probably 2024 might be the year that we will see this NIO stock really surging in terms of the share price. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I make sense and does stock market investing videos. And if you think that this video was amazing, please don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.